So you're eating clean, you're following keto, maybe even carnivore, but you're still not seeing the fat loss or muscle tone you expected. Does that sound familiar? Well, let me ask you, are you eating enough protein? Because women over the age of 50, especially postmenopausal, the rules have changed. Your body isn't looking for less food, it's begging for more signal. And that signal is protein. So today I'll show you exactly how much protein you really need to hit your goals without stuffing yourself or sabotaging your metabolism. Let's get started. Protein isn't just about muscle, it's about metabolism, hormones, hair, skin, and healthy aging. As estrogen declines, we lose muscle more easily and gain fat more easily. That's not a flaw, it's biology, but we can fight it with smart, strategic protein intake. Dr. Gabrielle Lyons, I love to watch her. I listen to many of her videos and I had the pleasure of seeing her at a conference. She is the founder of muscle-centric medicine and calls skeletal muscle the organ of longevity, and I absolutely agree with her. She's right. She emphasizes that muscle protects us from insulin resistance, obesity, frailty, and even Alzheimer's. She recommends that we get 30 to 50 grams of protein, high quality protein per meal, especially women over the age of 40. What that actually does is trigger muscle protein synthesis and overcome something called anabolic resistance. So here's the part that no one tells you. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to protein. That's called anabolic resistance. And in your 20s, you might have been able to build muscle on 15 to 20 grams of protein. But in your 50s and 60s, you may need 30 to 50 grams per meal just to get the same response you did when you were 20. If we don't adapt, we lose muscle, our metabolism slows, and fat becomes harder to burn. But the fix is simple. Eat more high-quality protein. Focus on leucine-rich animal foods. Lift weights about twice a week. That's really not a lot. I also love to watch and listen to her mentor, Dr. Don Layman. He's a renowned protein researcher and focuses on the leucine threshold. The amount of leucine you need per meal to actually trigger muscle building, that number is about 2.5 grams of leucine per meal, which you get roughly from 30 to 50 grams of animal protein. So let's talk about leucine a little bit. Leucine is an essential amino acid, and it's the key to flip on your muscle building switch. It's the amino acid that tells your body, build muscle right now. Without enough leucine in a meal, you might not get the muscle preserving benefits, even if you're eating plenty of protein. That's why animal protein is so important. It naturally contains high amounts of leucine. To hit that 2.5 gram threshold, you typically need 30 to 50 grams of beef, chicken, or seafood, 1 scoop of whey isolate, or 3 eggs plus some yogurt or cheese. So let's take a look at, I put some examples up here. 30 to 50 grams of protein in ounces, and we're talking about weight by cooked meat. To try to get 30 grams of protein, that's about 4 to 5 ounces of cooked meat, like chicken, beef, or fish. To get 50 grams of protein, that's approximately 7 or 8 ounces of cooked meat. 4 ounces of chicken breast, equals 35 grams of protein. 6 ounces of ribeye is about 40 grams of protein, but there's more fat, which those of us who are keto friendly don't mind that. 3 eggs equals 18 grams of protein, not as much as you think. And 1 scoop of whey or beef isolate is approximately 20 to 25 grams of protein. So how much protein do we really need? Forget about the outdated RDA, that's recommended daily allowance, of 0.8 grams per kilogram. That's just the minimum amount to avoid deficiency, not to thrive. If you're over 50 and trying to lose fat and keep muscle, aim for, are you ready? 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of ideal body weight. Not what you're weighing now, what your ideal body weight is. My personal goal was around 155, between 150 and 155. Years ago, they told me when I was 20, my ideal body weight would be 145. But let's say it's 152, I'll split the difference. So I need to aim for 160 to 175 grams of protein per day. That's the mid-range from the 1 to 1.2 grams. So if I did 1 gram, that would be 152 grams. And then the 1.2 is like 182. So the 160 to 175 is like the mid-range. That is tough without doing protein shakes. I'll show you what I did yesterday just to give you an idea of what I ate and what it came to. So here's what it actually looks like. My actual meal yesterday was at breakfast 3 pasture-raised eggs, 4 slices of bacon, a half cup of full fat cottage cheese. That came to 44 grams of protein, so that was good, and I exceeded the 2.5 grams of leucine. I had 2.9. So that meal told my body, okay, take all this protein, repair, build muscle with it, okay? For lunch, I was stuffed after that. I gotta tell you, that was very, very filling. And I do that on a regular basis. So, but I was just full. But I'm thinking, I don't really want lunch. I've been, since I retired, before I retired, I was like a 2-meal-a-day person. And so I'm like, okay, we'll put some Greek yogurt in there at lunch. So I had a cup of 5% fat Greek yogurt. So that was 20 grams of protein and 1.8 grams of leucine. So I did not hit the 2.5 at my lunch. I was over at breakfast, but still, you don't want to count it like that. So what I could do is, since I was over, I could back off breakfast a little bit and allow myself a little more at lunch. So each meal, you want to get that signal of protein building or muscle building and repair. So that's my one takeaway, is to try not to overdo it at breakfast and know that I'm going to have 3 meals a day and leave some room hunger-wise at lunch. And then for dinner, I had a very large skinless, boneless chicken breast with a slice of mozzarella cheese on it. That was 61 grams of protein, got that, and 5.1 grams of leucine. So I really hit the leucine there. And remember, 2.5 is just the minimum stimulus to signal the body. You can have more, but to signal the body to start building muscle and repairing muscle. So for the total, that was only 125 grams of protein. I need about 25 more grams. Now that could just be one of the shakes. I like Equip Prime protein. It's beef. For a mixer, I guess I could just probably do water, but I I could do maybe throw my yogurt in there and a little bit of milk. I don't want to do almond milk. I'm trying to stay away from the plants. So I could if I want to. I could, but I think maybe I'll put a little bit of yogurt in it and a little bit of whole milk, grass-fed milk. So to me, that was a lot of food. I was full. And so I think I could have been more strategic. I think beef is probably, like a burger with my eggs, is probably more strategic than the bacon. So that's, as much as I love bacon, I think that's a swap I'm gonna make more frequently. Not give up bacon, but have it every once in a while, but put something a little more with more leucine in there. So let's talk about why eating enough protein helps you burn more fat, not less. So number one, protein has the highest thermic effect. Up to 30% of the calories from the protein you're eating, they're burned just trying to digest that protein. So that's more than double for carbs and nearly, this was very surprising, 10 times that of fat. Okay, number two, protein preserves lean mass. So when you're losing weight, your body decides what to burn, fat or muscle, because you're in a deficit probably. And if you're under eating protein, your body will burn muscle, slowing your metabolism and increasing your risk for fat regain. Protein keeps you full and it helps to curb cravings. Boy, does it ever. It stimulates a lot of your satiety hormones like peptide YY, that reduces your appetite. GLP-1, that slows down gastric emptying and increases fullness. It also stimulates cholecystokinin, which tells your brain you're satisfied, and it also suppresses ghrelin, that is your hunger hormone. So protein has a very, very high, very successful satiety factor, and now that I'm eating more of it, that becomes very obvious. Number four, protein improves body composition. You can lose fat and maintain or even gain lean muscle. That's what we're shooting for. The result is then you'll look tighter, stronger, and more youthful. And then number five, protein enhances insulin sensitivity. So that means fewer blood sugar crashes and easier fat burning, especially on keto and carnivore. So no, eating this way won't make you bulky. It will make you leaner, stronger, and more metabolically resilient. So we hear about body recomposition all the time. What does that really mean? Body recomposition is the process of losing fat and gaining or preserving muscle at the same time. And unlike traditional weight loss, that just shrinks the number on the scale. Recomposition changes your body's shape, strength, and metabolism without necessarily changing the weight dramatically. And that's the part we get frustrated with. It preserves lean mass during fat loss. So it provides amino acids needed to rebuild muscle, particularly when paired with strength training. And it helps you look tighter, stronger, and more youthful, even as the scale moves slowly. So the next question from the low-carb world is usually, will too much protein kick me out of ketosis? Not likely. Gluconeogenesis is demand-driven. It's not automatic. Your body will convert some protein into glucose if and only if it needs to, but not in a way that spikes insulin or stores fat. And ketones are made from fat, not protein. Plenty of people stay in ketosis while eating 150 to 200 grams of protein a day, especially on a carnivore plan. So what are the best sources of carnivore? Stick with complete animal proteins, ruminant meats, beef, lamb, bison, venison, seafood, fish, eggs, egg whites, full-fat Greek yogurt or cottage cheese if you tolerate dairy, whey isolate or beef protein isolate like Equip. Collagen, yes, collagen for joints and skin, but you're not going to really count that towards your daily leucine. It only has a minimal amount of leucine. However, I think it has very good benefits. So how do we hit our protein target without feeling stuffed? Well, I'm still working on that. I'm not used to it. Here are my 5 top sneaky protein strategies. Add egg whites to your whole eggs. That'll boost the leucine count. Or even stir up some ground beef and add some egg whites in that. Mix whey or Equip Prime into your yogurt or broth. Use deli meats or jerky as protein condiments. So for my husband, what I'll try to do too is buy an eye roast, and I cook it very nice and rare, or a little butterball turkey breast, or a whole turkey breast, just the breast, and I'll cook that, and then I slice that and because I know it's in it, doesn't contain a lot of sugar. And especially my husband, we're trying to reverse his type 2 diabetes. So I cook it here at home, and then I'll get my deli slicer out and I slice it up. And that really helps him when he gets hungry at night or in between meals. And he's getting good whole meat. And we know what's in it. Choose leaner cuts like chicken breast or 90-10 beef. I would say if you're really struggling trying to get the amount in. Right now I'm using 80-20 for beef, and I'm using the regular chicken breast without this week I did without the skin. And again, if you want to use collagen, stir that into your coffee or tea, and then you compare it with real protein to hit the leucine mark. So women over 50, I want you to hear this. This is the missing piece. We struggle, we get the menopause, right? Our estrogen goes down, the menopause appears. So if you've been under eating protein for years, or relying on just fatty meats without enough muscle meat, it's time to flip that script a little bit. You can lose weight and still protect your body. You can look better, feel stronger, and age with power and not frailty. So you need to start upping the protein. So if you've been cutting calories, eating clean, doing keto or carnivore, and still feel stuck, tired, and soft, it might not be about what you cut out. It might be about what you're missing. And protein isn't just fuel, it's the instruction. It tells your body to hold on to muscle, burn fat, repair skin, and rebuild you, especially after 50 when your hormones shift and your muscle becomes harder to hold on to. Protein is not negotiable. This is how you stay strong. This is how you age well. This is how you rewrite your story. If this video helped you, give it a like, share it with another strong woman in your life. Drop a comment below. Let me know how much protein you've been eating and what changes you've noticed to help us give us some testimonial here. And as always, remember, strong women eat steak and they don't count lettuce as protein. I'll see you in the next video.